إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. أما بعد فإني أحمد الله سبحانه وتعالى وأشكره على أن هيأ لنا مثل هذه اللقاءات الطيبة، ونسأله سبحانه وتعالى أن يرزقنا وإياكم العلم النافع المثمر للعمل الصالح والثبات على السنة. Once again, I praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and thank Him for allowing us to spend some more time together studying some of the matters of our religion. We ask Him subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us beneficial knowledge that produces righteous actions. And we ask Him subhanahu wa ta'ala firmness upon the sunnah. نواصل حول هذا الموضوع المهم عن البيت المسلم وعن العائلة, the structure of the family in Islam. If I'm not mistaken, this is part 4. من سمات البيت المسلم تعاون أفراده على الطاعة والعبادة. As we learned before, that the Muslim home should stand out, not because how big it is or the colors, but rather stands out by practicing Islam in it, by obedience, righteousness. Likewise, from the many points that tell you that your home is a Muslim home, in reality, you find all the individuals that live in such a home, they cooperate with one another upon obedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The main things to them is to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to worship Him correctly. فضعف إيمان الزوج تقويه الزوجة واعوجاج سلوك الزوجة يقومه الزوج هكذا تكامل وتعاضد ونصيحة وتناصر. The husband and the wife, this is how they deal with one another. They pay attention to each other, as we learn, since they spend a lot of time together, so they should know more about each other than anybody else. And they should be serious and they should pay attention to each other. For example, when the wife sees that her husband iman starts to weaken, and remember, we're human, we're not perfect. Sometimes we're doing good for different reasons. You find one of us, iman is declining, and because of the things we do and the things we say. So if the wife sees that her husband's iman is declining, she should immediately do something about it. Do things that will strengthen her husband's iman. For instance, if he's reluctant in the prayer, she will talk to him nicely. She will send him ayats about the salat, ahadith about the salat, the importance of the salat. The husband, when he receives that from his wife, he's supposed to be very happy. He don't supposed to be offended. Like some men, they get offended. Why? She's sending me these ayats. She wants good for you, that's why. She's doing it in a nice way, in a smooth way, as we say. Instead of tell you, you don't pray on time, what happened, you're negligent, she's just telling you another way, sending you an ayat about the salat, a hadith. If the woman sees that her husband, for example, is negligent, he's been involved, he's not reading the Quran like he used to be before, maybe he's spending more time outside the house, he's neglecting his children, he's not spending time with them. And because the wife, which is the mother, she's the one, the children, they come to her and say, hey, why is it our father don't have time for us? We don't see him anymore. He always with his friends. So she's gonna talk to him and tell him, look, your responsibility is to make sure you take care of your family. And the husband should be happy that his wife is reminding him. The same thing, the husband, when he see in his wife anything that is not right, he'll do something about it. If he see her negligent also in any obligation, like for example, she doesn't pray on time or neglect her family, her children, her responsibilities, or she's involved in a lot of social media, a lot of internet, a lot of phones, he has to advise her nicely and kindly. هكذا, husband and wife, they look after one another. They make sure that they are straight, alhamdulillah, upon the path of Allah. Okay? Because they care about one another, and it's a great responsibility. Yes, you gotta say, as men, we have to say, you have to say, look, my wife can advise me anytime she wants. And be ready for it. Some of us men, subhanAllah, the wife, as soon as the wife says, I want to talk to you, he's like, what do you want to talk about? And he's all like shaky, and it's okay, yes, your wife. She want to talk to you, she want to advise you, it's okay. Blacks, you're supposed to be happy, say, Jazakallah khair. I'm not perfect, I got a lot of issues, a lot of shortcomings. Please do advise me whenever you can. Okay? أي نعم بارك الله فيكم. البيت المسلم يؤسس على علم وعمل. أي نعم. The Muslim home is founded upon knowledge and actions. علم يدله على الصراط المستقيم ويبصر بسبل الجحيم. And this home, the Muslim home, and that family should be established upon knowledge of the deen, knowledge of the religion, that make clear to them the path of Allah. You can't just like do things hoping it may be okay. You can't do stuff like that. Especially when you come to the deen of Allah, we have knowledge that will give you certainty. Before you do something, you're sure that this is what Allah wants you to do and how you do it. Likewise, you have to have knowledge of the paths that take you away from the path of Allah, the paths of ruin and destruction, the path of the shayateen. You have to know those things. And that's going to be acquired through learning. Aina. Make sure that we have to learn together as a family. We have to be informed. Because an informed family, a learned family, that's good for everybody. Likewise, يكونوا على علم بآداب الطهارة وأحكام الصلاة وآداب الاستئذان والحلال والحرام. And the family members have to know the rulings of purification, how to purify themselves for the salat, how to make wudu properly, how to make ghusl properly, tayammum properly, what break the wudu, what nullify the wudu, what necessitate ghusl. Husband should know that, the wife should know that, should teach the children when they reach the age that they're supposed to learn these things. Likewise, the ruling of salat. I know. It's not enough to just stand Allahu Akbar, Salaamu Alaikum when you're finished. No, the salat, the Prophet ﷺ, he says, Sallu kama ra'aytumuni usalli. Pray as you have seen me praying. The Sahaba, they saw the Prophet ﷺ praying, and they're supposed to pray as he prayed. For us, alhamdulillah, his salat in detail has been narrated to us and saved for us. We have narrations before you pray, and what you do, what you say, what you wear, what you face, this, what time, all of this in details. Salat has conditions. You gotta know these conditions. There are conditions for the salat. From them is dukhul al-waqt, for example. You pray in time, facing the Qibla, for example, purifying yourself by wudu or other than that, if it's needed, ghusl. هكذا ستر العورة. Likewise, the salat has pillars. There are pillars of the salat. Without them, the salat is not valid. You need to know what are these pillars. The first pillar is al-qiyam مع القدرة في الفريضة, standing if able in the obligatory prayers. The second pillar is takbirat al-ihram, when you say Allahu Akbar. The third pillar is Surah Al-Fatiha, reciting Surah Al-Fatiha amongst many other pillars like ruku', sujood and the like. You need to know these things so that everybody that live in the house, they know that these are very important things in the salat. We're not supposed to just stand and do whatever we want to do. Now we have to pray the correct salat. And who's correct and who's not, knowledge will tell us. We learn. We learn from the ayats and the ahadith upon the understanding of the companions, ridwanullahi alayhim. Likewise, adab al-istidhan. Likewise, also we teach our children that there is certain times they cannot be in the bedroom. You gotta teach them, yes, you're our children, but there are certain times you're off limit. You have to knock before you open that door. You don't just open the door and come in. There is sometimes when you ask permission, and they will learn, they grow up learning. Not just they open the door and like that, they learn how to seek permission. Likewise, you teach them halal and haram, what is permissible, what is not permissible, what is lawful, what is not. لا يجهل أهل البيت أحكام الدين. It's not befitting for Muslims to just stay ignorant, not putting forward the efforts to learn the deen. As a family, you're Muslims, mashallah, you have Muslim names, you say Bismillah, but you need to learn the etiquettes of Islam, the rulings of Islam, so that you can practice Islam correctly, not just be a Muslim by affiliation. Like many Muslims are, this is the case, they're just Muslims by affiliation. Because they were born in a Muslim country and that's enough, they think. They never learn anything about the deen. Nothing. You ask them about simple things that little kids in the elementary school, they have studied and learned, they don't know. But they say they're Muslims, mashallah, they're born in this Muslim, and they name Muslim countries. Doesn't matter, even if that person is born in Mecca. His mother gave birth to him while she's making tawaf. That's not gonna make him any no different or better than others, unless if that person study Islam. Just because born in Mecca doesn't make you special. An ignorant person in Mecca don't know anything. Person in the Bronx or Miami is better than him if he knows his religion. It's not about, alhamdulillah, being in Mecca, raised in Mecca, that's a beautiful thing. That's the best place to be. Because you're exposed to knowledge, the ulama, classes, umrah, a lot of things you can do in there. But that's not enough. You gotta take advantage of the opportunity. You gotta learn the deen. You gotta learn the deen, the religion. So as a family, should learn together, should make sure the husband, he's the driver, he has the greatest share of the responsibility. The wife too. She want to make sure that her husband is doing right. Because he's responsible. He's the one who's guiding and steering this family, what direction is going to take. No. So they can have some classes together. If the husband cannot teach or the wife cannot teach, they can listen to the talks of the ulama. If they speak Arabic and they understand Arabic, they can play, alhamdulillah, from the phone now. The YouTubes of Sheikh Al-Albani, Sheikh bin Baz, Uthaymeen, Fawzan, Rabi', هكذا. If they don't know Arabic, they know English, for instance. And they can listen to the classes of the students of knowledge who they translate the books, and they give their classes based on the talks of the ulama. But if the mother, mashallah, she can teach, she knows, she has to spend some time with her children. As we've seen, actually here in this masjid, there is a best example, Allahu Akbar, may Allah preserve this family. There is a little boy and a little girl, and they speak Arabic, mashallah, Fusha, fluent. It's amazing. Right here in America. But parents are teaching them. Yes, I speak to them, 4 years old and 6, and they, mashallah, may Allah preserve them and protect them from the ain. And they speak Fusha. They understand everything and they engage in conversation. Some Arabs don't speak that level. Yeah, they speak slang and dialect. But in the Fusha, they're looking for words, the proper Arabic. But these kids, Allahumma barik. But that tell you something about the household. Tell you something about the parents. That they want that for their children. And they spend time. إِنَّمَا الْعِلْمُ بِالتَّعَلُّمِ. Knowledge is acquired by learning. And it's going to take some time. Look, if somebody wants to graduate from high school, that's 12 years of learning, right or wrong? 12 years, that's normal. 12 years of learning to get a high school diploma. You want to get a bachelor? That's another 4 years, right? Minimum, normal. Some people do it in less than that. We're talking about on normal. That's another 4 years, that's 16. You want to do a master? Another 3 or 4 years. Like almost 20 years studying, that person who has master. PhD, forget about it. But if somebody wants to be good in Arabic in 2 weeks, no, you have to spend some time and be continuous. Those who do it in 20 years to get a master, continuously studying. But if they study 1 year and drop 2 years, they're never going to finish. Likewise, somebody want to learn Arabic, Islam, memorize Quran, Sunnah, this, then they want to study whenever they feel like. It's good to attend the like of these seminars, but that's not enough. Seminars, they just put us on the path. When you go home, you're going to say, look, whatever the sheikh was saying, I mean the sheikh that I'm reading his book, not somebody else, okay? Whatever the sheikh was saying, this is very important and we have to learn these things, and you go and do more researches. I'll give you books as reference. I mention names of ulama. So you go and Google them and learn. How many times you heard me say Sheikh Abdul Aziz bin Baz, Sheikh Muhammad ibn Salih ibn Uthaymeen, Sheikh Muhammad Nasir al-Din al-Albani, Sheikh Salih al-Fawzan, Sheikh Rabi' ibn Hadi al-Madkhali, Sheikh Ubaid al-Jabiri, Sheikh Abdullah al-Bukhari, Sheikh Ahmed al-Najmi, Sheikh Zayd al-Madkhali, Sheikh Muqbil ibn Hadi al-Wadi'i. You heard this mashayikh, and you go at least one of them. Take Sheikh Abdul Aziz bin Baz, Sheikh Al-Uthaymeen, and learn. Listen to their classes. Read their books. And you will, mashallah, if you just read the books of these mashayikh we mentioned, you'll be gaining a lot of knowledge, alhamdulillah. A lot of knowledge. هنا كذلك من سمات البيت المسلم الحياء. هنا we raise ourselves and our children upon shyness. And for that to happen, then we have to protect ourselves and our family, especially the children, from anything that tamper with shyness. How are they going to learn shyness and they're exposed to the television, learning nothing but despicable things? The husband will bring himself, he will bring like 64-inch TV, HD, whatever they call them, I don't know, I'm saying stuff now. And then cable of like, I don't know how many, 3,000 plus, I don't know what channel. One of them is deadly, I don't know, 300 or more. And then he will go to work and leave the wife looking at all of these things and children. Now it's even worse because who needs television anymore? They have it right there in their pockets, those phones. Every child. Now, unfortunately, you find some parents, they so lax. Child is 7 years old, 8, and he has a phone. Smartphone, iPhone. What are 8 or 9 years old do with a smartphone? And then they be looking at stuff, and from early age they are exposed to haram and exposed to trash and exposed to evil. And now you want to blame them when he becomes 15 and you see something on that phone? You gotta protect the family. Nothing, no magazines, no mixing, no bad things, anything that source of evil. The parents should, especially the father, should get rid of that. Likewise, from the many things that characterize the Muslim house, our Muslim home, is that the secrets of the house is and the family are preserved, especially between husband and wife. Of course, you gotta try your best to have a good time and respect and love, but then you're human. One day you may disagree on something, or she's not gonna see it the way you see it, and then now you have an issue. But keep it between the two of you. Nobody should know. Nobody should know. You should always keep in mind, look, alhamdulillah, I'm not expecting for my wife to agree with me on everything. Because she's a woman, I'm a man. She's another person. One day she's gonna have her own way of seeing things or doing things. She's right or wrong, that's another issue. But she's gonna one day say, well, I don't look at it that way. That's it. We're gonna fight now and it's over. No, it's not. It's not how things is done. You should anticipate that. Likewise, you too, my dear daughter and sister in Islam, you're supposed to anticipate that. You gotta say, look, my husband, mashallah, is a good brother. He loves Allah. He loves the religion. He's upon the way of the Salaf. He's trying his best, but he's a human. One day he may do something. He may say something. He may slip here or there. So being a wife, I have to be there for him, not to be against him. Hakada. And whatever happened in the household should stay in closed doors. That's the mistake. You find a man, whatever happened between him and his family, he complained to everybody in the community. That's not from the akhlaq of the Muslimin. Some of the non-Muslims, yes, that's what they do. Man, they just come in the morning and tell everything, right or wrong. No, we don't do that, man. We don't do that. We're Muslims. The only way you're going to talk to someone is when you cannot fix the problem yourself and you really want a solution, but you don't talk to anybody. The same way if your car is broke and you cannot fix it, you don't go to anybody until you go to a mechanic. Likewise, if you're sick and you took some Tylenol, but now it's getting worse, you don't just come to the masjid and say, hey, what can I do? What can I take? You go to a doctor. Likewise, in this case, you go to someone who's known with knowledge, with taqwa, with dignity, and they're able to help you. Hakada. Likewise, the women. You find some women, subhanAllah, they fall into this mistake. As soon as she has an issue with her husband, the whole women of the community know about that. Some, they even worse, put that on Facebook, post it everywhere, or social media. This is bad. This is not good. This is not good. So much so that when she shared with other women, those women, they talk to their husbands, and some of those husbands, they don't understand. they see the brother in Salat al-Asr and they're like, Akhi, taqillah, man. They're like, well, what did I do? Well, you know your wife, this and this. This is not how you treat a woman. How did you know? Because she talked to some woman, that woman talked to his husband, the husband now talked to somebody. And subhanAllah, you can't do stuff like that. Stuff are not done like that. You see something on your husband, you talk, be patient. Choose the right time to talk to him. If he's difficult, he's not good in conversation, send him a text. Write him a letter with a nice, beautiful sign on it. So he sees something nice on the envelope and, mashallah, open his appetite to read. And then he will read a nice, beautiful, say, look, Jazakallah khair, you have some good qualities in you. May Allah reward you for your patience, but you're only human and you're not perfect, neither do I. Look, we have to keep an eye on one another and watch the back of each other. It's all about us making it to the Jannah. That's why I'm writing to you. That's it. And if a brother is a good person and he fears Allah, he's gonna like, subhanAllah, he's gonna go straight and kiss her head and tell her, Jazakallah khair. You're right, yep, you're right, I was wrong, and may Allah reward you for هكذا. For her, she's going to go and talk to some women, those women talk to their husband, and the husband talk to somebody else, and they take a stand against the brother, and he's like, what's going on? Everybody know but him. His wife talked to everybody except him, and she's supposed to talk to him and keep the secrets. And she should not complain, oh, we have nothing, oh, he don't give nothing, he don't do nothing. La. Yeah, subhanallah. Likewise now, we've been talking about how the family members in one household, in one family, how they deal with one another. The relationship is upon taqwa, obedience to Allah, upon ibadah, upon iman, sincere advice. They cooperate with one another upon righteousness. But also, what is the relationship with others, with the community, with the society? Same thing. Is upon iman, upon taqwa. They will befriend those who are on the same page with them. You gotta be careful. The man, he befriend righteous men, good men who they fear Allah, they serious about the deen of Allah, they want to stay on the path of Allah. And he will tell his wife, look, I don't mind you having friends. I don't mind other women visit you here or you visit them. Spend some time with them. But just, we gotta like choose the right people, okay? You know, I want you to carefully, before you say this is my friend and you're gonna spend time with her, you're gonna bring her in the house and then she's gonna be, and my children gonna be around her, or you're gonna go to her house, and I just want you to make sure that that woman, she's on the same page. She fears Allah and she's serious about her religion. And I'm not saying find a perfect woman. There's nobody's perfect. I'm just saying find a sister that she's really cares about the religion. She want to learn. Her mind is about the hereafter, not about this dunya. She don't gossip. She don't slander. She fears Allah. She read more Quran. And hakad. I have no problem with that. Now, likewise the children. You have children, you choose for them the right children to play with, to study with, to spend time with. Because sometimes you may be, subhanAllah, if you feel, if a man let his wife, for example, befriend anybody, they may corrupt her. She may be a good sister, and then because her hanging with the wrong women, she be corrupt now. The same thing, you and the wife, you're a good parents, you're upon the deen of Allah, you're trying your best to stay put, but then you're not taking it seriously who your children gonna be with, who they can hang with and spend time with. Those children and those youth and teenagers, they're gonna corrupt. They may corrupt your own children. You spend a lot of time, a lot of effort teaching them. It may be destroyed in few days or few weeks. So you talk to your children, tell them, look, it's not like I don't want you to spend time with certain people, but it's okay. You're still young. You're a teenager. You're that. Yes, I expect that you make friends. You spend some time with them. But just have. It's good to spend time with the people who are gonna help you, gonna increase you in your iman, not people who's gonna get you in trouble. Okay? We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to teach us this religion. We ask Him subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us beneficial knowledge that produces righteous actions. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to preserve our families and to make us from those who, when they hear this speech, they follow the best of it. We made this class short, like half an hour, because we, inshallah ta'ala, will give you some break. And also, alhamdulillah, we'll continue after Maghrib, inshallah, bi'idhnillah, okay? After Maghrib, we try to finish this topic, this very important topic, inshallah ta'ala. جزاكم الله خيرا بارك الله فيكم وصلى الله وسلم على محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا.